Hello and welcome to Flappity Flap Podcast with your hosts, Brandon and Sarah.
Welcome.
Welcome, traveler. Every time now. Brandon did an animation that starts that way with a cool farty blacksmith saying, "Welcome, traveler, to our town."
A cool farty blacksmith.
So now every time I hear welcome, I guess.
You're thumping the mic.
I know I have to. Okay. All right, there we go.
I'm only telling you because you were telling me.
I'm always out. That's something
because you were
you wanted to do. Anyway, so every time you say welcome now, I think, welcome, traveler. It's good. You guys should check it out. We'll put a link in the description.
Thanks.
Or upload it to the channel. I don't know how I feel about that because it doesn't.
Do that.
It's not a podcast thing. It's your thing.
I don't care.
I don't care. All right.
Welcome, everybody. Today's topic is...
Well, we don't really have like a name for it, but I don't know. Toxic femininity. Can you not do that? Toxic femininity versus non-toxic femininity in Hollywood? Question mark? El marque de pregunta? I don't even know what question mark is in Spanish. But anyway, we came across this channel called Baggage Claim, and the lady who is a person of color, not that should matter, but she's, female and a person of color. So I felt like her perspective would be taken a lot seriously and not dismissed as sexist as much.
A lot seriously?
Whatever. They know what I mean.
It would be taken seriously.
Taken more, not dismissed, basically. But, women can still be sexist.
Well, yeah.
But she kind of articulated what I think Brandon and I have been feeling about some of these newer kind of feminist takes on comic book adaptations, DC, Marvel. I haven't seen probably any of the DC comic adaptations except
like
Spider-Man's Marvel.
The female Joker.
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, yeah. Harley Quinn.
I haven't seen... I saw like the first Superman movie with Henry Cavill, and I really liked it. But I think I'm not like a comic book aficionado, but I just kind of got more into the Marvel franchise.
I prefer the Marvel franchise. I think what I've seen of the DC universe, I mean, other than Batman, of course, but what were we watching that was just kind of strange from the DC universe?
I don't remember. Recently? So I think Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, The Flash? Is The Flash DC?
I don't remember. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, she kind of articulated what I think we've been feeling, which is this toxic femininity.
It's the DC universe doesn't seem quite as self-aware.
The little pointer finger held really close to your chest really emphasizes the importance of the points you're trying to make.
It didn't seem quite as self-aware, and it felt like there was more like one-liners and kind of classic stereotypical movie
What are you
stuff.
basing that off of? Because I haven't seen any, so I cannot contribute.
Just kind of out of touch.
But I mean, like which specific movies or superheroes?
I don't remember what we were watching. I just remember
recently.
Yeah, we watched a thing.
Was it like a bunch of clips? Because I went through a bunch of Superman clips.
I don't remember what it was. I'm sorry. Can't help you.
Well, I just don't think they're going to take us seriously if we can't cite to,
I know. I shouldn't have said anything. I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe I'll cut this and put in something. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So, basically she was saying, look, you have a bunch of female, feminist takes on old classics that are either, like male characters, or they're just really in your face about...
Like who, for example?
Like, and okay, so this is not just superheroes, but like redoing Ghostbusters, which is something that really hurt me to my core because I have loved Ghostbusters for years and years. I mean, I can quote many sections of the movie like verbatim. I've watched it since I was a kid. I love the characters. I love the actors. My parents were kind of that era of SNL. They're just beloved. And I didn't even give the female one a chance, but partly because it's like, what's the fucking point? And I heard it wasn't very good. So it's not even like, wow, they really did it. But it's like, why do you have... It's just like sequels. All the sequels. Like, or remakes, whatever.
Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd are still alive.
Oh, like they could have done it with them.
Yeah.
And I think
Although
Ernie Hudson.
I think that tall, skinny white guy passed away.
Harold Ramis, yeah.
Sorry, I don't remember their names.
Yeah, it's okay. I do. Well, I think they were just trying to do it for, look, the girls can do it. And it's like a lot, I think, was what's her name in it? Kristen Wiig. They did Bridesmaids, which was like a primary female cast around female characters and relationships. And I know you weren't crazy about it. I don't think.
I wasn't crazy about what?
Bridesmaids. Did you see it?
I liked Bridesmaids.
I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was a good movie.
Do that. Why do you have to do a remake of a beloved, very successful, humorous classic?
Here, I think is a good analogy of why it might just upset people in general. Is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When what's his name, the director that does all the explosions, he's like people make fun of him for doing all.
Is it Jerry Bruckheimer?
I don't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Anyway, he changed their backstory and made them aliens.
Oh yeah.
And I think that
you don't mess
naturally
with the lore.
Pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah.
But that's basically what people are thinking, I think, when you have a character completely change. But maybe the female Ghostbusters were supposed to be like their daughters or their something, they weren't just like, here's a female Ghostbusters crew for no reason.
I just think if you're gonna do that, I don't know, you better be sure it's gonna be damn good, because you're riding on the coattails or you're standing on the shoulders of that franchise. And granted, Ghostbusters 2, in my opinion, even as a kid, it was a pile of poop. They should never have made it.
Oh.
You have this great standalone film.
Yeah.
And just the comedy was beautiful, and the special effects for the time, everything, the music, it just comes together. Even now when I watch it, I get like chills because I'm excited for people who haven't seen it, although they probably won't appreciate it. But, I just think, man, this movie stands up. What era it was made, but it's a great movie. And it's just an example. It's not, it's not like a superhero movie, but why do they have to make it, a woman's thing? Like, do you think you're making it better? Like you're taking it over? Like girl power, woo!
Or is it just pandering? Because
I understand wanting to empower women, but I don't like this lady.
But it makes you wonder what the intentions are behind it. Yeah. Or like why? Like it just makes you question why.
You can't deny that there's major pandering in Hollywood, but this I keep wanting to call her excess baggage. She's not. Baggage claim lady. I don't know what her name is.
Excess baggage.
She
had some good points.
She just really articulated what we didn't kind of understand we were feeling, which is these female characters or female characters coming in or taking over a previously male character and kind of redoing these stories. And that there's this sense of entitlement that people should just be excited because it's like girl power and feminism. But there are a lot of like these kind of smug characters. Like they were showing clips of Batgirl or I don't know. And like she was just kind of, I think they gave her like she was like a lesbian, I think, which, fine if it was a different movie. But it wasn't that. It was just she was like tough, kind of in your face. Like, this is the way it's going to be. It's going to be better because it's for a woman. And it's like, who are you?
Kind of smug and pushy.
Yeah.
And kind of behavior that you see from villains, not heroes.
Yeah. And
I mean, heroes can be jerks like Tony Stark, as we had discussed, but he has like such a backstory. He's not just showing up on the scene and being like, I run this place now. Like, deal with it.
Yeah.
You know?
But he is sort of forced out of his jerkness. Like, he's forced to grow. He keeps his, like...
Also, he's an anomaly. Sorry to interrupt you.
It's fine.
Not a lot of heroes are kind of snarky punks.
Yeah, that's true.
It's usually a villain behavior.
Yeah. But it's also shown that he goes through... like this rite of passage, I don't know what you would call it. He goes through this development where he gets stuck in a cave in, was it Afghanistan? I don't remember.
He's humbled a little bit.
And he loses a guy who's helping him, and he kind of is just faced with his own humanity finally, and like losing this guy, and he can't help him. And then he escapes, after, because he makes like the first Iron Man suit. So he's still like a sassy bitch, but you see that he has heart, and he's still worked his butt off, and you like see where he's coming from, and you see why he's maybe created this exterior to kind of push people away. And
his snarkiness is usually funny. It's not just like rude.
Just like a sassy,
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna bring up Brie Larson, which is we had watched the whole Marvel franchise string of movies, whatever, from
which was awesome.
What was the first? I think Iron Man was like the first one recently.
I don't remember.
And, like,
there was so much
in this kind of go round. So Iron Man 2, and then I think like Avengers comes in. So we watched it like from that point. Like I went online and like looked up, the order you're supposed to watch them, like the order of the time.
Guardians
not that they
of the
were
Galaxy,
released, but
Doctor Strange,
all of them.
Yeah, everything.
All the Avengers movies, and it was super fun. And it was, of course, during the pandemic, which we're still in, but it was like the height. It was like, okay, well, might as well come home nearly every night. Not come home, be home after work and watch these movies. And then, okay, so Doctor Strange was like the weak link for sure until we got to Captain Marvel.
And do you want to explain why Doctor Strange was the weak link?
Well, it's just a weird kind of magician-y character, which I wasn't super into.
I thought that was fine.
Did you?
The
cape was cool, but...
Yeah, I thought all of it was pretty cool. The only off-putting part was I really like Benedict Cumberbatch.
He's a sweetheart.
He seems like a super, super cool dude.
Yeah.
But his American accent...
Yeah. The guy clearly doesn't have an ear for some stuff because he has a hard time pronouncing penguin.
Ooh,
so if you look it up, it's a really fun thing. If you don't know about it, you are in for a treat. I think, is it Graham Norton who makes fun of him and kind of
I don't remember.
Shows the devolution.
I don't think I saw it.
Of how he is doing this like penguin documentary,
Penguins.
and then he just progressively like forgets how to say the word or stops trying.
But weirdly, they sent it out that way. They were okay with
no retakes
with him mispronouncing penguin.
Who's gonna tell Benedict that he's not saying?
But he could have been reading for.
Tell him. Well, then we're just this piece of.
Why would you not? He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he would totally just be like, oh my God, I know I have like a speech impediment. He does have a little bit of a speech impediment, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. He's got like a little bit of a lisp, but I don't think that has anything to do with him pronouncing penguins penwings.
Yeah.
It's adorable. Maybe that's why they let it go out. They knew it was going to be like good for PR. Because like, oh, look, he's so humble. He can't say penguin.
Oh.
But yeah, he is awesome. I love Sherlock. I'm sure there's other stuff I've seen him in. I think he's amazing.
If they would have just been like, you're fine with a British accent. Just have your normal accent.
Yeah.
I mean, the Spider-Man character is English as well.
Yeah.
And he did an amazing American accent. I had no idea he was British or English. I think
maybe if we went back and watched it, knowing, we might pick up some things, but I don't know if it's because he's younger or from a different region. he did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And Benedict did not. And
But
it's just like...
They should have just said, just do your normal accent. He would probably have been more comfortable acting. You know, it's got to be hard to act on top of faking an accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like it would have been so much better if he would have just been speaking in his normal accent.
I mean, do you think there's any chance that he didn't have an accent coach or dialogue coach or whatever they call them? Because
yeah, I don't know.
That would be foolish, but it kind of makes me wonder, like, did they think or did he think he didn't need one? And why didn't anyone say you really need one?
Well, in one of the
if you really want to do this as an American with an American accent, you need to go away for like a month, you know.
Practice. In one of the interviews with him and the Spider-Man character, Tom Holland, they were talking about their American accents, and he seemed Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict.
Yeah.
It's a Ben.
At least you didn't call him Benjamin like that other guy.
Oh,
the Falcon guy.
Ben, can you just call him Ben?
Sure.
It's such a long name.
Sure,
Benedict.
call him Ben.
Benedict said, I forgot what I was talking about.
Didn't he acknowledge Tom Holland's like good accent? He said you did a good job.
Yes, but he also seemed kind of confident in his own.
Oh, you think it was kind of like a throw? Like, yeah, you did a good job too.
I don't know.
Maybe he just didn't want to. I don't know. It's just bad. It's bad. And maybe that just took me out of the rest of it. Like I couldn't take any of it seriously or just wanted to check out. But I wasn't super interested in the character.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of weird. And I think he could have played a more interesting character. And an English character. I don't know, like Sherlock Holmes with superpowers.
Or just make him English. I mean, they have no problem with like changing genders or races of characters. So just make him British. It's not that much of a leap.
Yeah.
You know, it's an accent.
Yeah.
But
it was bad.
Whatever.
Anyway.
What's done is done, and it's not our call.
But I feel like he probably at least came to it with maybe an eager, enthusiastic attitude to be like part of this franchise. Whereas clearly it's not, and it's a bit cliche to hate on Brie Larson. Like it's not an original thought, but.
And I didn't know. So did you know watching the movies that she had
an attitude problem?
An attitude problem and just kind of an issue communicating with people and just interacting with people normally.
I think I had heard like maybe whispers of it or seen some things on YouTube, but just kind of dismissed it as like controversy around this character. Or like maybe because I don't know at what point. I think she went to like the Oscars or the Emmys or the Golden Globes or something around the time and was very outspoken, and I was like, good for her, but I didn't actually watch what she said. I just had this general sense of like, cool, feminism. And then after the movie, and we were kind of like, left a really bad taste in our mouth. Then I started seeing more and more like she kind of is that way in real life. Like,
which is crazy.
Smug, kind of an asshole, which is how we took the character to be. Like, you haven't really earned the right to be sassy like Tony Stark. And I think we really feel like this is not coming from a sexist place because we really like Black Widow. I really love the Scarlet Witch. Forget what her name is, Wanda or whatever. I love her. I think she's one of my, and I really love like the Wakanda. That's the place that Black Panther's from. Could not think of the name.
That female warrior.
I like his warrior women. I like his sister. So I feel like.
Oh yeah, the tech.
Yeah, she's all techie. Yeah, she's like his Q.
I mean, there's so many cool female characters, like, cool strong ones.
I guess it's kind of, what is it, like a litmus test for like, am I sexist? Because I definitely can be. I definitely kind of have this instinct for like with tough women. I sometimes want to call them bitches, and I was like, no, she's just. But in this case, yeah, I felt like she was just kind of an asshole.
It really depends, and you have to take everything into account. Like, I was thinking a little bit about Thor and how he can be kind of an arrogant ass, but he's always kind of put in his place, or he's often put in his place, and he looks like a fool. Yeah. He looks like a dummy or a butthole, and it's like brought to the light, whereas her kind of arrogant, rude attitude is never like shut down.
Yeah. And that's what I think this baggage claim lady says is it's usually if these characters are like arrogant or overconfident, they're brought down by that. They're forced to face it and see their mistakes, and they come out on the other side stronger. Again, with Tony Stark, like, he retains his sassiness, but he does have heart. I mean, spoiler alert, and if you haven't seen it, he eats it for the rest of he eats it for the team, which is the whole world, you know.
It's actually kind of funny. Some of the things he
comic relief.
Are funny. It's not just him being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like
when he keeps poking, what the hell's his name? Hulk, the Hulk guy? Mark Ruffalo, when he's like poking him in the first Avengers movie, that I love that. And they're like, are you really like prodding the Hulk guy? Like, and he's like, I've got it under control, you know, but it's just like, what are you doing? You know? And yeah, it's comic relief, because otherwise it'd be really, like, I love Captain America, but if it was all, yeah.
He gets beat up. She never got beat up for being a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah. And she wasn't ever really an underdog. Like, I feel like there's, to some degree, in a lot of these, maybe they're not an underdog, but yeah, she didn't earn our respect. And in real life, she just kind of reinforced that, because she just seems like a sassy bitch, and not in like a cool way.
Yeah.
She's like literally seems to be a bitch, and you can tell when you watch the interviews that they don't like her. Her co-stars don't like her. And it's like she thinks she's really Captain Marvel, because she talks about, well, I'm the strongest, like in a fictional world. And then the thing that you were saying about the stunts.
Oh, yeah.
That she kind of made it sound like she did all her.
Yeah. The Thor character was joking about how he does his own stunts.
He was joking?
He was joking about it. He doesn't do his own stunts.
Oh, okay.
He was just joking about it.
Okay.
And I guess she said, yeah, I do my own stunts. And I guess she was lying or maybe joking. I couldn't really tell what the hell was happening.
Yeah. I think you have to kind of know the background too, and kind of like, is this a joke? But like when you're watching stuff like that, you kind of go, I don't think this is a joke, because it's not funny, and there's a feeling of
tenseness.
Especially when you're watching Don Cheadle go, don't touch me.
Oh yeah, she was kind of talking like trash. I think
him or something? Yeah.
And she was elbowing both of them, and Don Cheadle was like, "Don't touch me, don't touch me."
Yeah, he kind of like put like a fake smile on his face for like a second until she did that. Like he was almost gonna try to play along, and then he was just like, "Don't touch me."
But that's, in my opinion, that's hugely eye-opening.
Yeah.
To tell someone outright
in an interview,
don't touch me.
That's gonna be broadcast like everywhere, or at least on YouTube, you know, get a bazillion hits.
I mean, you have to really not like a person to tell them outright, don't touch me.
Especially as part of the promotion of your movie. So it's like part of your employment. And you can't, like, it must be bad. She must be a righteous bitch, but not righteous. Anyway, we weren't going to like spend so much time on that, because it's just a lot of hate, and it's already been covered by a lot of people.
Yeah, I just haven't really heard much about it until recently, and it's interesting to see that her real life character kind of matches her on-screen character.
Yeah, but I think we just also wanted to drive home that we just don't. It wasn't a great character or an interesting character. Definitely thought it was the weakest link possibly in the whole franchise that we've seen. Anyway, we wanted to spend more time on the characters, female feminist characters we have loved over the years, which have not had to try really hard to be feminist or powerful.
There's no like underlying agenda or like obvious chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
Like there is kind of with Batman or Batwoman, where she's like, it'll be perfect once it's made for a woman, or whatever she said. Yeah. It's like, you obviously have like a chip on your shoulder if you're saying that kind of stuff.
But like some jerk wrote that character that way. So like I look at that girl and I see her face and I'm like, you fucking bitch. And I'm like, I have to remember someone wrote that for her and directed her that way. Yeah, and like maybe she thought, if someone brought that to me before kind of seeing these baggage claim videos and kind of really thinking it and getting a little help to think it through, I probably would have thought the same thing. Like, yeah, women empowerment, but like you're taking over roles that we have loved that just happen to have been written for men or played by men in the original comics too. And
Because they were written by nerds.
yeah, but
They were written by nerds
who wanted to be those men.
Yeah,
probably, and get the girls.
You want to be a bulky man that can fight crime and beat up bad guys like that.
Yeah. But I think, you know, if
it's not about keeping women down.
If you're unhappy, I mean, they're definitely like underrepresented, but if you're unhappy about that, write new characters.
Yeah.
You know, or like they're doing with Wonder Woman and, you know, some of these other characters. I mean, I might not have seen them or I might not care for them, but don't try to take old characters over. It's just like doing remakes of movies. Like, unless you're really going to blow it out of the water and do better than the original, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
You know? Don't
beat it into the ground.
Yeah. Don't beat us over the face with your feminism. Or something. What you said. Let's stick with what you said. Anyway, so we wanted to talk about our kind of favorite, I was going to say classic. Not even classic. There's been quite recent ones.
Favorite female heroes. So what is the first?
Well, my favorite, and that's why she's first on the list, is Eleanor Ripley, Sigourney Weaver from the Alien franchise. Partly because she reminds me a lot of my mom, and my sister and I have said that, especially in the second one. Like when she's saying, "Get away from her, you bitch," and just like shooting up the eggs and trying to rescue Newt, is like her yelling lines reminded us a lot of our mom. But she was just like strong. She wasn't afraid to like, she wasn't trying to look pretty. She was super sweaty. She's mucky. She's just, you know, she's got this basically surrogate daughter because she's been, you know, lost in space. And her daughter has died while she's been out in space, you know, in hypersleep for 50 years or whatever. And so she finds this kind of surrogate daughter in the second one. And anyway, so she was just like this maternal figure, but she wasn't soft and mushy. She was badass. Powerful, yeah. But you had the kind of what some might say is a masculine element, but it was just her being like doing her job.
And what sets her apart from certain heroes, certain female heroes today, is the not having a chip on her shoulder. Mm-hmm. She was working with male crewmates, just working with them like normal, not being like, I'm better than you because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
You know, not having to like slap them in the face with that every chance she got.
There's one scene in the second one, and the second one I've just seen a lot more because it's a little easier to swallow. The first one is so fucking intense, and fucking everyone but her dies in the first. Well, almost everyone but her dies in the second. But in the second one, she has a little moment where the military captain guy, or I forget what his title is, the black guy, Capone. I don't know his name. I forget his name. She's like, "Is there anything I can do to help? I feel like a third wheel." And he's like, "I don't know. Is there anything you can do?" And he's got his cigar in his mouth. And she kind of like does this like, and then says, "Well, I can drive that loader. I've got a Class A license," or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Be my guest." But I think he maybe doesn't expect that she can do that. And I don't know if it's because it might just as well be because she's a civilian. She's non-military, or it might be a little bit of a nod because she's a female. And so she gets in the thing, she straps in, she knows all the buttons. It's the one that, of course, is used at the end. So it's your introduction to the thing that's going to kill the queen in the end. Yeah. And then so she picks up like a warhead, not a warhead. She picks up some
crate
box thing. That's what it is. And then she goes, "Where do you want it?" And like, you know, it's like, but very subtle. Like you never, I think, get it through the rest of the movie. Like that you question that I could do this thing and I did it. Because then he and Hicks, who is kind of ends up being like her love interest, kind of laugh and go, "Bay 12, please," or whatever. And they like, okay. But again, you don't know if it's because she's a woman or because she's a civilian that they're kind of a little bit like, what can you do to help?
Yeah.
You know, she's just such a badass. Mm-hmm. But it's like you forget that there's women and men, you know? Yeah. Sorry, I got really excited. I get really excited about Ripley.
No,
she's my
good.
Favorite. Who's your favorite?
I think my favorite might be, what was it, Van Helsing?
Yeah. You talk about her a lot.
From that Dracula.
Yeah.
I think she is the most...
Sister Agatha Van Helsing.
Sister Agatha. Mm-hmm. She is the most badass female character I think I've ever seen. Because she always, you know, she's just always outsmarting Dracula and just
Almost always.
Almost always. But she's just really cool.
Kind of in the end, yeah. She ends up on top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's very like that kind of European, what is that, like Northern European, or I don't know. Kind of like what I think of as the German kind of straightforwardness, although I think her character's supposed to be Hungarian or Romanian or whatever. But she's just very straightforward. She's kind of sassy, but I don't know, everything, her mannerism, she's really cool.
Mm-hmm. And super smart.
But she's also empathetic.
Yeah.
So she has empathy for Jonathan Harker, and as she's interrogating him, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, pause this podcast and go watch it. It's like several hours long. It's like 3 quote unquote episodes on Netflix, but they're probably each an hour, and it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
It's a really good show.
I've watched it twice now, and it's so good. So, spoiler alert, she is interrogating Jonathan Harker, and she basically knows he's like dead or undead or whatever. And technically, I don't think he's like fully turned to a vampire yet. So she's kind of poking him a little bit, like a little bit mocking him, but she does care about what's happened to him. She's just trying to get information to help her destroy Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that first kind of scene from that episode is really good.
Really good.
I kind of took over your.
That's okay. I mean, there was so much to it. I forgot.
Yeah. So she's your favorite, huh? She's pretty cool. She's pretty cool.
She's a cool character. The only scene that really sticks out in my mind, because there was so much. I can't remember stuff unless it's like cartoons for some reason.
Yeah, you do have a photographic memory for cartoons.
Yeah, but the one scene that really sticks out is when, spoiler alert, she's on the ship and she's strung up. Yeah. With the noose, and she bites her lip and spits in Dracula's face and kind of just outsmarts him.
To show his true self. Because he's basically accusing her of being like a vampire. Yeah. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, he's the one who's...
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly how she talks. But outsmarting him. And also, she doesn't lose her cool, because they've got her strung up to like a mast or something, and they're going to burn her, I think.
But she looks scared when she's like, yeah, I am a vampire. She's like, who wants to step up and kick the box? Mm-hmm. And Dracula steps up. Yeah. And he's like, I'll do it. Yeah. And she looks nervous, but she still fucking outsmarts his ass. Yeah.
She's still being cocky, but she's earned it, you know? Mm-hmm. And he's been like feeding off of her for like months or weeks on this journey on the ship. And it's really good.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's a really good pairing. Duo?
Pairing?
They're like a good duo. Because there's a lot of mutual respect. Like I think doesn't want to kill her. There's a lot of respect. It's weird.
But he may have killed her there.
Oh, yeah.
He was planning on kicking that box.
Well, for his own survival, I think if it came down to it, he probably would. Let's see, who's my next?
Who indeed?
So there's the obvious Sarah Connor from the Terminator movies. But I liked her. I definitely liked her, especially in the second one. She got all buff.
Is the second one the one with the guy with the sword arms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because she did get a little bit unhinged, maybe I wasn't super into her because of all she'd been through and everyone thinking that she was crazy. Yeah, in the movies. Oh. Everyone thinking she was crazy, not believing her, at least in that one. Felt like she was a little mentally unstable, but it's fine. That's not why. I just didn't as much care about her. I think my next favorite is Christian Avasarala, who we've talked about a couple episodes ago, from The Expanse, played by Shohreh Aghdashloo. She plays the Secretary General of the UN, or the leader of Earth, as I keep calling her. And she is a beautiful woman with this beautiful husky voice. I think I've looked it up before. I don't know if she damaged it somehow or just maybe she smoked a lot, but I think it's just
some people just have a voice like that.
She's a beautiful woman, and especially in the first couple seasons of The Expanse, she dresses in, I don't think because she's Persian. I don't know if her character is Persian. Maybe traditional.
Her character is Earther.
You're just but very traditional, very colorful, beautiful, ornate garb.
Yeah.
Not costumes, but and then as the seasons wear on, she kind of dresses in more like pants and leather, and which I also like, but I really liked some of those like cool big dresses and sashes and things like that. Just a beautiful, striking woman, and she's got a major potty mouth, which I think if you just have a potty mouth and you don't have like good other dialogue or intelligence to back it up with, you would just be like, this is just fucking annoying. The irony is not lost on me, but it was a little delayed. I guess I'm just, we're so similar, just like super smart and commanding, and we just take fucking charge.
Yeah.
I think I love her, especially again because we're BFFs on Twitter. I mean in general, but
do you want to explain that?
Well, I guess because I explained it in another episode. I posted about The Expanse and how it was such an awesome show, and she liked it, and I didn't expect it, and I was a little bit, oh shit, people see your tweets, but I was also thrilled. So
it's pretty wild that she not responded, but that she liked your tweet.
In a way, that's a response.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
So that might have something to do with why I love her so much, but I really already loved her. So it's a love that lasts a lifetime. Who's your next favorite?
I don't remember. We discussed this last week.
What do you think? Well, you mentioned Betty White.
Oh yeah, Betty White.
Which I don't know if she plays a lot of.
I think I was just talking about her as a
just as
like
a
person.
General badass, general female badass,
yeah,
or badass who happens to be female, I should say.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, you like Ellie Miller from Broadchurch. These are not all superheroes, but just obviously
just strong female characters that don't get hung up on
hum. Oh, that's hubba. What is it?
Hubba.
Yeah, but isn't humana.
Hamana. They don't get hung up on
their boobs and vag. Their bobs and vagina.
They don't get hung up on the male-female, like, I had it in
dynamic competition?
Yes.
Like they're not trying to be better than, they're working with the men.
They're better than the fight. They're better than the male-female conflict to where they're not even fucking focused on it.
Yeah.
And it's so much more, it's so much cooler to watch a female character not be focused on men bad. Men are trying to keep me down. Like, rise above that shit. Be better than that. And you if you're not focused on it, it just is so much cooler. It makes your character so much cooler.
I think if you're...
There's like a pettiness to it.
Well...
Almost. I mean, I get it. I understand. I'm not... Let's see how...
I know.
I can explain
it's
myself.
Like a minefield. You need some help?
No.
Well...
It's hard because when you're talking to me, like, my thoughts...
Do you want me to look this way?
Leave my head a little bit.
Try
no,
again.
it's fine. They're
just
gone.
Just talk to the back of my head.
No, they're gone.
Oh.
Just...
Well... Okay, so like they have the luxury of being written as maybe someone who isn't dealing with that constantly. Like they might be in the real world. So like Ellie and what the fuck is his name? What is his name in the show?
Oh,
so it's David
Tennant.
Hardy. D.I. Hardy? Hardy. Isn't it Hardy?
I don't remember.
Alec.
Man, I can't remember anything.
Man, I can't remember anything.
I can't remember anything.
Let me look him up really quick. I'm pretty sure it's Alec. Yeah, Alec Hardy and Ellie Miller. So I've watched it 3 times. I think I've watched the first 2 seasons like 3 times. So I should really know their names by now. But he's like a progressive, they're just doing their jobs. He's a bit of a prick and a bit of just like a socially inept, guy who's just focused on doing his job.
But he's also seen a lot of the time as a Dumbo. Like, you see his social ineptness and you're looking down on him. So it's not like he's just an asshole. He's not like just a constantly asshole boss that's always looking down on you. A lot of the time, you're looking down on him.
I guess. Or I mean, it's just, you see why he doesn't have any friends,
Yes.
but he doesn't really care. It's Ellie who makes him, like, realize that maybe he should care. Like, or the other...
But I don't think he ever cares.
I think he does care a little bit.
Oh.
But maybe because, I don't know, she, like, forces him to. She, like, beats him over the head with it. But he's never rude to her because she's a woman. He's rude to her because she fucks something up or he thinks she should have done something different, you know? Mm-hmm. And that obviously is the luxury of the writers who are not wanting to focus on a gender issue, you know?
Which obviously exists.
In that relationship, you know?
Gender issues definitely exist.
Whoops.
I wasn't saying that they don't exist.
I know, Jesus Christ. You know, fuck. I mean, you get it. You know what we're saying. Getting a bit aggressive.
Do you, though?
No, okay, I don't know.
Hopefully you do.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Anyway, but she's just, again, there's like, she kind of reminds me of the Ripley character where she's not like a hot woman. She's not got this gorgeous bod. And I'm not body shaming her, but, you know, she's not a supermodel. And she's just like a normal woman with a husband and a couple kids at home. And she's like a badass who's doing a great job and she really cares. Yeah. But she's also a mom. Like that's part of her life as a woman. Mm-hmm. But she's kind of goofy, but she's really good at her job. And their relationship is just great because she's just appalled at his kind of lack of decorum or social skills. But they're just getting the job done. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, nice. You know, and it is a luxury because that isn't probably how it is for the most part. Or, you know, she probably comes up against sexism in one way or another, whether it would be from him as her main kind of supervising point person or some other male character.
Well, she's in a police department.
Yeah.
So, and not to
go there.
Not to put anybody on blast.
Why did we pick this topic?
Police, I think, are often more conservative type people, and conservative type. I should just shut up.
I think in the UK, they're at least in the major metropolitan.
It's okay. Moving on.
Areas. They're a lot more progressive, I think, than...
They have the same kind of people there as we do here.
I'm just saying what I've seen.
They basically have Trump supporters there.
Yeah, but in England, there's a lot more laws that are, I think, bent in the favor of the citizen. You know, there's like, they don't carry guns. Maybe, I don't think they've started to carry guns.
But they're also in a different situation as us.
Wow.
Never mind.
So regardless of whatever the background is or why, I just think that for the most part, they're more progressive, you know, maybe more restricted by in terms of what they can do in terms of police force, you know, and that kind of thing. Yeah, we should just stick to, like, movie reviews because the fucking pitfalls, the fucking minefield.
Yeah.
She is a great character, though. There's a lot. We mentioned...
Miller.
Yeah, D.I. Ellie Miller. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Lagertha from the Viking show?
Oh, yeah.
You said she's a badass.
Yeah, she's a badass. Pretty much... Any scene she's in, she's being tough.
Being a tough girl.
Uh-huh.
Nice. You mentioned Michonne? Is that how you say her name?
Michonne.
It's been a minute since I watched it. From The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah.
The lady with the swords.
She has...
Katanas?
I think she has a sword.
I thought she had two.
And she has...
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I guess it is a sword. Is it a katana?
She's just a quiet kind of... badass hero type.
Which is just cool because it's also just nice to have a quiet character.
Quiet heroes are awesome. Like Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. He's a fucking badass. He doesn't need to be running his mouth all the time.
But you also like Tony Stark?
Tony Stark's okay. Sometimes he's
not
funny.
Your favorite, yeah.
You know?
It makes me want to watch the first Avengers movie because it is fucking funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, Liz Lemon is a badass. Hermione Granger is like the most powerful or the what is Sirius calls her the greatest witch of her age.
I mean, she should honestly be the main character of Harry Potter.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe
in my opinion.
J.K. Rowling knew that we weren't ready for that.
Because Harry he's always...
You say that, but like...
It's so frustrating watching Harry Potter because he's always like he's always getting other people killed or injured. Or he's always...
How do you figure that?
He starts fights that he can't finish. Like what? Ever. I mean, I don't know. Like
you need to put your money where your mouth is. Like I'm gonna make you
any situation he gets into.
Can you give some specific examples, please?
Oh, when he runs out where the Weasley's family's house is, and he runs out into the cornfield and brings a bunch of.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's a bit of a hothead.
He's a hothead. And then he always cowers in a fight. And he always...
I don't think he cowers. He's just not up to snuff. He's not up to it with these, like, adult wizards.
He's like the character in my animation. He's the chosen one. But he's really just a worm.
He doesn't look like a wrinkle-necked worm. He doesn't wear a KFC helmet. And he doesn't carry a twit. Well, he kind of does carry a twit. Shit.
They're the same. They're one and the same.
Is that who you based your character off of?
No.
Or was he based on you?
Good one.
Zing!
Good one.
All right, anyway, I think you're wrong about Harry. I think he's a hothead and a bit of a dummy, but
he's a hothead, a dummy, and he's not powerful.
He is powerful.
Is he though?
Isn't super skilled sometimes. He kills Voldemort in the end, doesn't he?
On accident or something?
No, Okay.
Does Voldemort trip and fall into a fissure?
Do you even know who Voldemort is? Is it a fissure or a chasm?
A chasm.
I'm just kidding. I think either would have worked. What about Naomi Nagata?
She's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Except for that mohawk hairstyle.
I'm just kidding. Mohawk.
We've already hashed through that. She's pretty awesome. I would love to be as smart
from The
Expanse.
Expanse.
As her. Yes. She's the Rocinante engineer. I guess she was the engineer on the ice hauler they all met on when it got like blown up and they got away in the Martian ship and then they took it over.
She's a belta.
She's a belta. She's pretty fucking awesome. And Zoe
and also very strong and like spoiler.
Yeah.
Eventually a motherly character.
Yeah. Well, she's similar to... She kind of reminds me of Zoe Washburn on Firefly, who, because, and maybe people will find this controversial or frustrating, that they're both women of color reporting to a senior, captain who's a white guy. But I think it's kind of...
Is the guy white or is he like native or something?
Which guy? Malcolm? Captain Malcolm?
Is that
on
his
Firefly
name?
Or on
The Expanse?
Oh, I don't think he's native. I think he's just a white guy. But I don't know. He could in real life have native. I don't think they talk about that. If they do, I don't remember.
Yeah, I guess he does look. But I think kind of white.
The point is not that they're not. No, it's fine. The point is not that they're not the captains because they're women. Their jobs are just. Naomi's an engineer. She's not a captain.
She's not a ship captain.
Not a pilot. Yeah. Well, he's not the pilot either. But and Zoe is just she's Malcolm's. That's his name, right? Second in command. But there's never like a thing about it. The only time it becomes a thing is there's a little bit of tension between Zoe's husband, who's the pilot, and the like her husband Wash, Alan Tudyk is like. I don't care what his opinion is. What's your opinion? Like there's that, but
because he was putting her life in danger.
Yeah,
that's why he stepped in and was.
But there's never like a gender like I'm subservient. At least I don't know. Not that I see, and maybe that's because I'm just stuck with the upbringing of having these roles and not questioning them or being upset about it. But I kind of think it's a good. You can just have this guy be your and obviously with Naomi and Holden, they are an item as well.
Well, and it's hard to tell when you have subordinates and a boss to tell if there is a kind of sexist hierarchy or whatever.
Yeah.
it's hard to tell, 'cause, you know, how do you tell?
But there's multiple, on each of the ships, there's multiple other people who are also subordinates. And they're in different, you know, but what's cool is, what I really like, and I think is cool, is that you have these female characters who are doing jobs like engineer, mechanic, you know,
Typically
pilot,
male
not
jobs.
pilot. Yeah, so like Kaylee Fry, played by Jewel State, is the Serenity mechanic. So she's kind of like Naomi's job too. Naomi's an engineer, but actually I guess Amos is the mechanic. But you do have all these other characters who are also subordinates, who are men and women. And, you know, they're just very respected, and there's just never, what's nice is like this ideal future where your gender is just never a fucking issue. You know, the fact that you're a belter or an earther or a Martian might be an issue, and that's its own thing, but
And there isn't really racism, at least
in the Expanse there is, because of the belter. It's not
that's
racism
what I'm saying,
within.
though. That's what I'm saying. It's not racism as much as it is now, like, belters, earthers, and
it's not your
Mars.
color, it's like where you grew up. Like, whether you're if you're an earther, you are prejudiced against the Martians, and the Martians against the earthers, but then the belters kind of don't trust either of them because they're the inners. And but yeah, it's not about, doesn't seem to be about color or gender, and that's pretty cool. So and oh my gosh, how could I forget Trinity from the Matrix? Just I mean, I think she was like the first character, apart from Ripley, who was like, I was just blown away by her. And again, she was kind of like quiet, you know.
Strong. She was
a fucking
type.
hacker, you know, and looked awesome in leather, you know. So she was a hottie. A lot of
wasn't
these women
afraid to put her
hotties,
life
but
on the line.
Yeah. And just like everyone, when that movie came out, wanted to be Trinity. I mean, I wonder how many kids now are, you know, adults are Trinity. Probably a lot.
Are her?
No, like her name.
Oh,
We're
okay.
named that because
gotcha.
of, you know, because she was just, and again, I don't know, maybe I should be upset by, again, she's following the main character who's a white male, but
He was following her. She was already established.
But he was the one, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know, I guess maybe I don't want to see that because I do love these movies or shows, but so I do think maybe there still is a barrier to having like a female like main leading character. Can you think of any? Like
a barrier?
I mean, I can't think off the top of my head of someone who's like the main character, like really leading the lead.
A female lead?
Yeah, because they are still kind of supporting their big main, their key characters, but like, you know, Holden's a guy.
Well, I mean, the Dracula Van Helsing.
Yeah, you can't.
She was basically the lead.
Well, and they did make a typically male character a female, because Van Helsing has been a male.
True.
But they did that well. It was like,
yeah,
I don't know.
She wasn't coming after. She was Van Helsing was a descendant from her, right? Or
no,
or
I
was
think
it the
she
other
was
way
supposed
around?
to be the original Van Helsing.
She was the original. That's what I was saying.
I couldn't understand your words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shush.
No, I'm just
Okay.
Isn't that where most miscommunications actually come from? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand the words or the order that you put them in.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to be sassy.
Anyway, it wasn't her coming from. It wasn't her replacing Van Helsing and then saying, you know, I can fill these shoes better than any man could, you know, or saying some kind of lines like that.
Yeah. Well, and she didn't like...
Because I don't have one of those wretched penises.
They kind of completely rewrote the character. She just was Van Helsing and she was hunting Dracula. But they didn't like put her in, I don't know, a long cloak and have her hold a stake, and or you know, like they didn't basically put her in man's clothes and go, you're the
Give her the hat,
you're the upgrade
and the guns.
Yeah, exactly.
The long guns or crossbows or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They made her a fucking nun, and they rewrote the character, but they did it. You know, maybe that's just what it's down to. They did it really well. You know, it was just, oh, this is how they're doing Van Helsing, not, oh, what an improvement on the male character. You know, I like Anthony Hopkins as Van, even though that movie is not considered good. I like, you know, I liked the way because Anthony Hopkins, in my opinion, can do no wrong. I liked the way he played it, you know, but I didn't go like, oh, they shouldn't have, you know.
You might also want to date that.
What? Date it? What?
No, that statement. Anthony Hopkins can do no wrong. Up until this point, which is, what's the date today?
Oh, May 23rd, 2021.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's he going to do? Like show up in blackface tomorrow?
I'm just saying, just in case. You never know.
That's true. That's true. We're drawing a line. That's it.
Yeah.
Can't vouch for anything he does, you know, from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that about covers. Okay, I have one more.
Go for it.
And she is a pariah now, at least by liberals. Gina Carano, who I guess is a Trumper and maybe a conspiracy theory person, and recently got very canceled.
Who?
She's the one who is in The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah. She's like an MMA person.
Yeah. But she was in Haywire. Like
she's the bounty hunter.
One of the bounty hunters, because he's a bounty hunter too.
One of the bounty hunters in
but they kind of like team up. I didn't finish it because maybe that kind of, you know, put a damper on it for me a little bit, that whole kerfuffle. And she was basically fired by Disney, which I'm not going to go into that. But her character, Mallory Kane in Haywire, is so awesome. She's a little bit but she's really not, because she's like, I don't know. She's kind of snarky. She's kind of a little cocky, but I think she also isn't tolerating people who are not maybe doing their job as well. But she works for men. She looks up to her dad, who was like a Navy SEAL maybe, and who's played by Bill Paxton. And she works with other men, and I don't know, but she's a fucking badass. And the fight scenes in that movie, like, I'm not going to say you forget she's a woman, but because she's beautiful, so she's like, you want to, as a woman, I think, or at least as a straight woman, okay, I want to look like her, I want to fight like her, I want to be sexy like her, I want to fight like her, you know, I want to be smart like her. She's like, kind of like Trinity.
And you want to fight like her.
You want to fight like her. And because those fight scenes are so cool, and she's clearly like obviously doing them and equipped to do them.
Yeah.
But you just like, it was kind of like Carrie-Anne Moss as Trinity in The Matrix, like just blew my mind and was done so well, and I thought was so understated. And so I was kind of brokenhearted at what happened recently with her being canceled. I understand why, although yeah, I don't know.
We didn't look into it enough, I think.
No, I kind of was watching it a little bit and being like, just shut up, just stop.
She was,
just stop talking.
I kind of remember she was refusing to name her gender or something.
What do you call them? They're not identifiers. They're
pronouns.
Yes.
She was refusing to name her pronouns.
And then when she did, she like made a mockery of it. And I think she had also been spouting about Trumper type conspiracy theories.
She was like commenting on things. She wasn't necessarily posting, I think. I looked into it a little bit, but not enough to really make a decision either
And then
way.
I forget what she changed her pronouns to, but it was
it was kind of mocking.
Yeah. But I don't know what was the final straw that got her. I don't know if that was the final straw that got her fired, because that
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of unfortunate, and not saying that what happened is right or wrong. Obviously, she's in an employment situation.
I mean, it probably is right or wrong. We just haven't looked into it enough for us to make a decision, I think.
Well, and kind of like with the Cass Anvar thing on The Expanse, like as an employee of Disney and as a representative and a promoter of the show and a franchise that is humongous.
That was completely warranted.
They deemed it, I'm talking about her, but yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was talking about
him. That his is very clear cut, unfortunately. But you know, they obviously deemed her maybe damaging for the franchise, and that was part of like, you're not a good representative. Anything to add?
No.
Your mom's pretty badass.
She is.
We both have pretty badass moms.
That's true.
We should have listed them first.
Damn it.
I'll edit it and I'll put that. I'm like, yeah, number 1, my mom.
Yeah.
They never stop. Your mom wrestles with big, humongous animals.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom wrestles with home improvement projects. I don't know.
Yeah.
She wrestles with a lot of stuff too. She got stung by a bee in her mouth, so beat that. No, what I should have said is, hold on, I'll edit it and I'll put this in. My mom ate a bee recently that stung her. It stung her, so she ate it. That's what I should have said.
I don't know if that's better than the first thing you said.
What would be the toughest? What would be a tough way you could spin that?
I don't know. I mean, she came in one day with a rose thorn through her eyebrow, and I was like, damn.
You're like, is that a new piercing?
I just remember thinking, is that not... I mean, that would bug the crap out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And she just kept carrying on with work and was just like, yeah, I got a thorn through my eyebrow. It's like, damn.
Don't you want to pluck that out?
Don't you want to... Isn't that annoying to have stuck into your eyebrow?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever.
Oh my God.
Like, damn.
Man, I
That's
get a
pretty
paper
badass.
cut and I'm just like complaining about it the whole day. You know, we came in.
You got a paper cut on your eye once.
I did. And I didn't complain about it the whole day.
That's fucking crazy.
It didn't hit my pupil or my iris, though. It hit the white. And the white, it was just like weeping a lot.
That makes me cringe.
It was
Anything
close.
dealing with eyeballs.
It was close.
Oh.
Well, what about the pool cue in my eyeball? The freshly chalked pool cue. So
Yeah.
do you think I'm really tough
You're
now?
pretty badass.
I cried a lot for that one.
A pool cue in the eyeball?
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Your eyes are all watering. Yeah, there was a time where my mom was like working on the cupboards in the kitchen in her old house, and they're all white, and she had them like all unhinged and like they were on the counter. And I walk into the kitchen and there's just all this red, like spatters of red. And I'm like, what happened in here? Like, what the fuck happened? She was like, oh, like I hit a nail through my hand. And I was like, there's blood. Like, just...
She hit a nail
I think
through
she was
her
like
hand?
hammering and like hit herself
she hit
with a
her
nail.
hand.
Yeah.
She probably hit herself with the hammer.
But there was like spatters. Like, not like you know, carnage, like, you know, everywhere. Like,
that's horrifying.
but I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Man,
you know?
your mom and my dad are so alike.
They're
it
related.
blows my fucking mind.
They're related.
One day, I went out into the garage, and my dad was drilling this thing. So he has this, you know, handheld electric battery-powered drill.
Uh-huh.
And he's drilling a thing that he's holding in the palm of his hand.
Yeah.
And it slips. And he drills
As you're watching
into
him?
his fucking hand.
And he goes, well, would you look at that?
No, it was a bad reaction, but he was fine. It's just like,
Yeah.
holy shit. I don't know. Maybe just you guys be careful.
Yeah. Wear gloves and wear safety goggles and wear a mask.
Yep.
Do all those things.
Wear all the pads you need.
But eyes especially, because you only have 2 of those.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And I think they're really easy to pop out or just puncture and not be able to see anymore.
They're super easy to damage. There are photos online of
What? Why do you do
no,
this
no,
to
no,
yourself?
no, no, no. They're
Okay.
It's nothing gross, but there are photos online of people.
Nothing gross.
Listen,
Okay.
for a fucking second. There are photos online of people with eye protection. No, it's nothing bad. Stop.
You're getting
flinching.
near my eyes. I'm
getting near my eyes.
You know what I mean, though.
What is wrong with you? With like grinder, busted pieces of grinders. You know, grinder pads. Is that what
impaling
they're
the
called?
goggles?
Impaling the goggles, but not
Oh.
hitting the eyes. So it's pretty fucking crazy.
fucking call.
Always wear your goggles, always, and a
Always,
helmet.
Guys. Oh, and a helmet?
Yeah.
What kind of
Just in
DIY are they
case.
doing?
My dad dropped a drill on his head one
Okay,
day.
so wear a helmet. Guys.
Or wait, no, it was a nail gun.
Are you sure it wasn't an anvil?
He had. That's not very nice. He had a.
It's like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So he had a ladder one day.
Was it a bowling ball?
He was. Finland. Thanks. Why did you just
Finland?
cough at me?
I don't know. I didn't want to cough on my microphone.
Sarah does this thing when she coughs. She like sticks her tongue out, like
Fuck off.
just at
Oh, I
me.
do it on purpose. I think I do it on purpose, and then I forget, and it becomes like my natural thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So he had a bowling ball drop on his head?
No, he had.
Oh.
So he was nailing some shingles on a roof, and he had the ladder, an extension ladder, extended all the way up, and an impact nail gun. So it's like an air compressed nail gun, hooked up, wrapped above on the top of the ladder. Well, he went to move the ladder from the bottom. The fucking nail gun dropped onto his head from like, it had to have been like 15 feet.
How many pounds is that?
I don't know, but he managed to make it up to the house before, I think, probably passing out.
Wow. I'm sorry, but I can't help but think of like Home Alone, just
Yeah, a little bit like
Murph
that.
having like the iron dropped on his head, like, but it's on.
Yeah. I'm glad he's so tough, because damn.
But you can't be sure that didn't do damage. I mean,
That's true. Brain stuff.
yeah.
Watch your brains. Basically, don't leave anything at the top of a ladder. I've left a hammer at the top of a ladder before and moved it, and it fell and almost hit me, and that was my lesson to never fucking do that shit again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you're very careful.
But
you're very careful.
I'm also forgetful. So
That's true.
you leave something at the top of your ladder, and you're like, oh, I gotta move my ladder.
Do you have to do that voice?
Oh, I gotta move my
And
ladder.
do the arm movements?
Yeah.
The elbows?
You do. You gotta do your elbows like
Note to self.
I gotta move my ladder, and then all of a sudden you're dropping hammers on your own head.
Well, shit.
How did we get into this?
Tough parents.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Tell us your tough parent, dumb parent stories.
Yeah, and also tell us the original thing of the episode, which is tough female characters, female leads and stuff.
Well said.
Was it?
Please also like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube. I'm just going to pretend what you said, was good. No, it was good. Oh, it was good.
That's okay. I know it was bad.
No, it wasn't. It was
I know
cute.
I did
You're
a bad.
Adorable. Anyway, we will see you on the flip side. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.